Welcome to the Small Group Leaders video training series for 2024. In this session, we'll be covering small group multiplication.
In this session, where we are doing our small group leaders training, I want to speak to you guys about planting small groups. So when we speak about small groups and what we do in small groups, this is one of the more terrifying things that I've seen in my days of ministry for people, because we are relational beings and we also enjoy comfort, of our structures and the things that we habitually do. And when we have change coming, it's always something that is a little bit daunting. So when we speak about small groups, you will always find people that need a place to go. And we want to invite people into our spaces. That is just what Jesus told us. We must bring people into the family of God. So when we have a small group, we can have wonderful, amazing times together as friends, as family of God, and have a lot of just encounters with Jesus. But the fact of the matter is, we would like to invite people to come and also experience that. And sometimes this is a little bit tough because we love to have friends. And again, friendship comes from regularly spending time with people. And I also want us to have friends. But when it comes to small group and multiplication, and in this taxonomy is something that I want you guys to really know is important. Whenever you come to this place of maybe multiplying your small group, that is the word that I want us to use, to multiply. So a healthy cell in your body it grows and then it multiplies and it becomes two. So it's just, I know for some of you it's like taxonomy, but if you say, listen, we're going to split our small group, then the first thing that people experience is, he's going to be cut off, never going to see anybody again. And that is not what we want. But we need to have a strategy in how we do small group multiplication. And the first thing is you need to speak about it. So a practical thing is you cannot have, meaningful conversation with people in your small group if you are 12, 15, sometimes 20 people in a small group. Then it's not a small group anymore. It's becoming a larger group, and you need to make it small groups again. So I want to just say, firstly, speak about, listen, we have got all of these people that are coming to our small group and they love it. But we need to know that, if it continues like this, there's going to come a time where we will need to multiply. And you guys must please pray with us. And then you invite all of your people into this this next phase of what you need to do. Speak about it for a couple of weeks, but then you need to put action to your words. In the past, and there's not a perfect strategy necessarily in this, but in the past, people would have just said, okay, you guys go with them, and you guys go with them, and there we go. Now we've got two small groups. What I found is a little bit more effective when it comes to small group multiplication is, and this is my little boats. I stole this from Werner. But when we have a small group, then you have a leader 1 and a leader 2. So this is like the small group leader and then the intern. So we'll speak about interns later. But in your small group and on your WhatsApp group for that matter, you will have a lot of people that are part of your small group, but they don't necessarily always come. But then you have people that come more regularly. And those people that come more regularly, you will, map as members. So there will be members in your small group, but then also you will have strong members in your small group. So those are the people that come and you can rely on them to be there, to help, and they are becoming stronger and stronger as your group grows and as discipleship is taking place. So what you need to do as a leader and with your leader 2 or your intern, need to start to speak about how are we going to do this. Then the strategy that can work is if you take your leader 2, which is your intern, and say, listen, you with 3 or 4 of the strong members of our current small group will go and you will plant a small group with those members. Then you send a lot of strong members with your intern so that the success, the probability of the success of that small group will be higher. Because now you've got a core group that is, functioning well together, and you send them, and then you can invite people into that small group with them. The other option is you leave your intern with most of the current people that are in your small group, and then you as the leader, you take maybe one or two of the strong members with you because you've got more experience. You take one or two of the stronger members in your small group, and you go and plant a church by yourself, and you leave the others. And they can also invite people into their group again, but then it is something that stays mostly the same for the people that are there, and then you as the leader with some of the strong members go and you plant another small group. What I would like you to think about, especially because we have got relationship coming from our small group, is if you are the leader, then maybe take some of the strong members that are there with you who are your friends, so that you don't constantly have to find new friends with whom you can have and spend time with. So that is just some of the strategies that we have when we speak about multiplying our small group. So speak about and think about what can work for you. You know, this is something that Danelle and I did regularly. You know, we would take strong members that we were friends with, and we planted a lot of small groups. And then at the beginning of our small group, we said, listen, we are going to have some time together. It might be 3 months, it might be 6 months, it might be 2 years, but you know, you can invite people into this space, but then you grow those people in that group. But they know from the beginning, listen, this is not going to be there forever. And then you need to identify the next, leader that'll stay there as you move on to plant another small group. So that is just what I would like us to think about when it comes to small group multiplication. You don't split anything, but you are strategizing on how are we going to do this effectively so that relationships stay intact for friendship's sake, but that we always create space for other people to come into our influence spheres to experience what we experience in small group.